Auburn Blitz is now on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Friday edition of the Auburn Blitz. I guess it's maybe the half Auburn Blitz today. Yeah. We got Luke out here with us, and glad to have Luke out here as Andy making his way down to Gainesville, Florida for the Auburn-Florida game tomorrow. That'll tip at 12:30, but we'll dive into that and a lot more. But glad that you joined us out there, wherever it is that you might be listening or watching us. Want to thank Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores and Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team, our partners here on the Auburn Blitz. Luke, good to see you, man. You don't come on this show very often.
No, I usually get booted from Auburn.
That's right, but glad to have you on here today. We got a lot to talk about. It's good to have you on here because, unfortunately for our side, it didn't work out on Wednesday. Auburn falls to 15-1 on the season, but, Alabama came ready to play. We knew the environment was going to be tough. Alabama's gotten better. Nate Oates has, implemented a style of offense that's fit the players up there. So you're starting to see Herb Jones, and you're starting to see Petway or Petty, not Petway, but Petty, and of course Kyra Lewis has been the mainstay the whole time. You're starting to see some of those other guys live up to their billing and live up to being the player that everybody thought they could be.
Yeah, a couple of things. First of all, look, this game, the win for Alabama means nothing if they don't beat Missouri. Really, if they don't win these next three. Alabama's got Missouri Saturday, at Vandy, who's lost some key players.
Terrible.
They're not very
They're
good.
terrible.
And then at home against Kansas State, then until they go to LSU, which is going to be a tough win.
Yeah, you can't come back and lay an egg.
You can't lay an egg against Missouri, or this Auburn win means nothing. And that's what, for me as an Alabama fan, I look at it like, okay, that's nice. It's fine to beat Auburn, but let's also be real about this. That was a bit of a market correction game. I mean, Auburn was 15-0, but they're not your typical 15-0 team. I mean, they really have played more like a 12-3 type team if they had played a little bit tougher schedule. And Alabama's was 8-7, but their schedule's been pretty daunting. And they've had some bad breaks with injuries. And then of course they played North Carolina with Cole Anthony. If you played North Carolina without Cole Anthony, it's like playing a high school team just about. I mean, as you can see, North Carolina's just fallen off a cliff. So this game was a bit of a market correction. I don't think it means necessarily Alabama's the better program right now. Auburn's still the better program. It's just some nights it's not your night, and this was a market correction game. So if Alabama doesn't win against Missouri, it doesn't matter at all that they beat Auburn anymore.
It's, we talked about it. I talked about it on Gary Harris's show this morning. I'm on his show every Friday to give the Auburn segment. And, I knew going in, I had told, everybody on this program for over a week that if we didn't play our best game of the year, we probably wouldn't walk out of Coleman Coliseum with a win, and we didn't. We played far from our best game of the season. We didn't defend well. We definitely didn't shoot the ball well. That's been a chronic problem. Auburn starting games really slowly. But Auburn had its chances. They climbed back in. Alabama didn't play well in stretches, allowed Auburn to get back in the game. Could never get over the hump. Could never take the lead. Could never take the crowd out of it. But credit Kyra Lewis. Credit Nate Oates' plan to be able to get Austin Wiley to come out and defend on the perimeter by matching him up with Alex Reese. It gets him out of the lane, opens up a lane for Kyra Lewis to drive to the basket. This is 2 or 3 games now for Auburn that they've had trouble stopping guard play. Javon McCormick didn't have a good game. Samir Dowdy didn't have a good game. That's just part of it. And you lose the game, you move on. Alabama's got to come to Auburn in a few weeks, so you'll have a shot at them again. It's tough in this league. There's not a lot of great teams in this league, or there's not really a great team in this league, but there's a lot of good teams in this league. And Alabama's up there with those. I've been saying that, to Andy and Randy on here for a couple weeks. Alabama scores the basketball. They really forced the issue. Now they've lost several games, but you can't look at their record. They scared me offensively, and of course they get the win. But in basketball, it's not like football. You don't ponder over it a week, and you don't get another shot to redeem yourself on Saturday, you get a 2 or 3 day turnaround, you're right back on the floor. So you can't let your highs be too high and your lows be too low. Auburn's got to go to Florida. Which Florida team will Auburn face? Will they face the team that got blown out at Missouri, or will they face that Florida team that was able to come from behind by 20 to Alabama and win in overtime? So you better just bring your A game every night in this league, or you'll probably get beat.
Yeah, and I think that's a true statement. The thing I would say about it is, just like you said, in this league, usually you say you got to bring your A game every night because everybody's good. I think everybody's kind of okay. In fact, I look
There's just
across,
a lot of good teams. There's not any great teams.
I look across college basketball and feel the same way. I mean, Gonzaga is probably going to just about win out. But other than that, who scares you? And that to me is a problem. I like having teams to chase. I like having a Goliath or 2 or 3 out there in college basketball to chase, and there isn't one this year. So again, that's another reason that I'm not going to glean as much from this win on Wednesday night as some Alabama fans. And here's the other thing. I also know I'm totally okay with the fact Alabama's going to go to Auburn 1st of February sometime and lose. I 100% believe that because I believe Auburn's the better team and their crowd will be jacked up and the ODK trophy and blah, blah, blah. That's going to happen. So the best Alabama could hope for at the beginning of this season was a split with Auburn, and they've done their part so far. And really, in terms of the game with Auburn, I expect to lose in that Coliseum. Now, here's the other thing. I looked this up, Brett. You know, Alabama and Auburn, in terms of rivalry, I think Alabama's 192, Auburn's 164. But you know the point differential between the two for that many games? Like 138 points.
Close.
So that means there have either been a lot of blowouts or a lot of close games, blowouts on both sides.
That's right, to equal it out.
That's to equal it out, yeah.
Well, and that kind of sums it up again. But that's Auburn. Look, we didn't wake up yesterday and think we have been some 20 or 30 year blue blood program. I mean, Bruce Pearl took him 3 years to get Auburn just even into the competitive state, and what he's done the last couple of years has really taken us to a rise at a level we didn't think we could ever achieve. Let's be honest about it. Now that we're here, we're a relevant program, and I think as long as Bruce Pearl's here and the way he recruits and the way we play basketball, we're going to be a relevant program. We're going to be a discussion as an NCAA tournament team year in and year out, and that's just what it is. You can change cultures. I mean, you can see that along the lines with teams in football. You can see it in baseball. You can see it in every sport. That if you get the right coach in there and you get them to buy in, Nate Oates, he walked into a situation to where it wasn't all hunky-dory, and 2 or 3 coaches have tried to turn that Alabama program around and haven't done it successfully. The signs are pointing positive. There's going to be some highs this year. You've already had a big high. There's going to be some lows still to come.
We've definitely had some lows.
And that's just how it plays out.
You go back to the Florida game. I think Alabama's closer to being the team that got the 21-point lead versus Florida than being the team that blew the 21-point lead. And it's just against Auburn that Alabama finally figured out, we know how to close a game out now. Because Auburn did cut that game to 2 points with about 14 minutes ago. Yeah. Marvin Gentry says Alabama is more talented than Auburn. Has Alabama underperformed this year? I disagree with both those statements. I think Auburn's got plenty of talent. And especially when you factor in that Alabama's dealt with injuries and a waiver for Javon McKinley that they didn't get, which frankly they should have gotten. Everybody else is getting waivers. But no, Auburn is definitely more talented. Isaac Okoro is going to be a lottery pick in the NBA, maybe a top 5 pick. Austin Wiley, Alabama doesn't have anybody that matches up with him offensively. It's he's not having his best year. He hadn't really performed the way people thought he would. But I mean, he was as highly ranked as anybody Alabama's got on the roster. So and Alabama's also dealing with a lot of injuries. I mean, they're missing some pretty key guys. And here's, like, you go back to the Florida game, Alex Reese, though he played okay, he was dealing with a stomach bug issue that game, and you can't say that didn't have an effect. Alabama's got very little depth right now. I think they played.
Well, that's where Auburn wins. Auburn wins by getting into the second half and using their bench to wear teams down, and they did it to Vanderbilt. They did it to Mississippi State. They did it to Georgia big time, and they weren't able to do what they wanted to do against Alabama. They weren't able to get Alabama in a situation where they felt like they were fighting uphill. They had control of the game the whole time. Again, Auburn had its chances when they cut it to 2 a couple times. And, you know, I think Auburn made some mistakes. I didn't think they got the ball to Johnson enough. I didn't think they got the ball in the hands of some guys that they needed to get it in more than they did. Samir Dowdy played maybe his worst game ever as an Auburn player. I mean, he just couldn't do anything offensively. He looked lazy on defense. He got in foul trouble. Javon McCormick didn't have a good game. You know, I don't know that Auburn's had a player foul out all year, and they had 2 foul out in this game. I mean, it just is what it is. Some games are going to – I'm not going to whine about officiating. Some games are more tightly called than others. And that just happens. And there were calls on both sides, but Austin Wiley was in foul trouble. Isaac Okoro was in foul trouble. Both our guards fouled out of the game. And that favored Alabama. Being tightly called, it favored because Auburn likes that loosey-goosey style.
Well, that's the thing. Auburn's got a way of, you know, they do sort of the Rick Pitino of we're going to hand check you, we're going to get up in your grill, and if you don't call it tight. But, you know, to me, that's if it's a foul, it's a foul. I mean, and the officiating is, I mean, sometimes you get breaks. I mean, look, Alabama went to Rupp Arena the other day and got mauled every time they went to the rim, and we said, we have no shot if they do this. But you can't do anything about it. It's up to your coach and up to your team to overcome that. I say that every single time. The officiating in basketball is just as ambiguous as a spot in a pileup in football. I mean, nobody really knows what a charge is anymore. Nobody really knows what targeting or pass interference is anymore. And because I think they call way too many charges in basketball in general.
Yeah,
I always thought it was a charge. The point of a charge is to keep somebody from being out of control. And instead, now it's become something where if you can just get in front of somebody while they're already in motion and you flop, you're going to get the call, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, officials, you don't like to see them have too much of an impact, but they blew the whistle a lot in that game on both sides. I mean, Auburn, obviously, they fouled out, and it affected them, but you got to be able to adapt to the style of game the way the officials are calling it. Up against our first break, we come back, we'll have our good friend Jason Caldwell on the phone with us. He'll talk about this game and talk about baseball season coming up a lot that we'll pile into his segment. Stay tuned, more of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
The Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales in Opelika has the largest selection of prestige cars, trucks, and SUVs in Central and East Alabama, all with financing available, little to no money down, and extended warranties. Get pre-qualified in under 2 minutes, online or from your mobile device at GillsPrestigeOnline.com. It's the Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales, 1430 Gateway Drive in Opelika.
A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
From the smallest drippy faucet to drain cleaning to water heater replacement to gas lines to total systems replacement, A&M Plumbing handles it all. Visit amplumbing.net today for the experienced, licensed, and insured pros at A&M Plumbing.
A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Hidley Towers is an affordable senior citizen community located at Alexander City on Highway 22 East, where spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living, where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more about Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552, where your family at Hidley Towers. That's 256-329-0552.
WOTM, your new home for high school sports in Alabama. WOTM has you covered with live coverage of all 7 championship games of the Super 7. WOTM is available to all TV providers in Alabama. If WOTM is not currently a part of your channel lineup, call your provider and request that they add WOTM. WOTM, your exclusive TV home for the AHSAA Super 7 basketball, baseball, and softball championships. All live only on WOTM.
Alex City Marines, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, and the Yerkes invite you by to see what they have available today. The 2020 Manitous and Landaus are in, and boy, are they gorgeous. Also, some great deals on demos. Take advantage of that while they last. Alex City Marine also is doing shrink wrapping, storage. Get in line now. In fact, call this number, 256-215-FISH. Alex City Marine, Alex City.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Start the new year off with something new during the Start Something New sales event at Bice Motors. Lease a 2019 Dodge Challenger SXT for $319 a month with 0 down. 2020 Ram Bighorn Crew Cab for $349 a month. 2020 Jeep Gladiator for $329 a month. And to honor our first responders, get an additional $500 rebate.
Come see us in Alex City.
Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz, brought to you by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores and Mortgage Pro there at McKinley team. We'll go to the phone line now. Welcome in our good friend Jason Caldwell. Jason, thanks so much for joining us as you do every Friday.
Hey guys, how are y'all?
Doing good, man. Just a lot to cover here in your segment, so we want to get right down to it. First of all, Auburn falls to Alabama on the road on Wednesday night. You knew you weren't going to run the table in college basketball. Nobody has done that since Indiana in the 70s. So knew you were going to lose sometime, and Auburn didn't play real well, and that's usually a recipe on the road for losing.
It is, and I tell you what, I mentioned to somebody else yesterday, I believe, that if Alabama plays defense like they played the other night, they're not a 9-7 basketball team, and they're an NCAA tournament team as well. They haven't played defense like that, and maybe it unlocked something. Maybe the rivalry game brought that. I thought that was as good defensively as an Alabama team's played in 5 or 6 years. And so that had something to do with Auburn. Now, Auburn turned it over too much and was careless. They didn't make shots. All those things that, you're right, recipe for disaster on the road. But got to give them more credit on the other side as well. Alabama did knock down a bunch of threes. And going into it, I thought, man, if Auburn loses the game, it's going to be because John Petty and those guys got hot from the outside. And it was because Kira Lewis was probably the best player on the floor the other night. And he was able to get to the lane and penetrate, do all those things. And so I give, Auburn didn't play very well. But this is a team that, we talked about last week. I thought the stretch coming up was a difficult one because you had some teams that could score. And this is an Auburn team that just offensively, just okay. They're not a good offensive team. Don't have a ton of shooters. Because of that, you have to win with defense and playing, clean basketball. And like I said, when you turn it over, that's not how this team's going to win games.
Jason, what do you think about the SEC as a whole this year? Because you look around the league, I mean, I know LSU's undefeated, but they needed a last-second shot at home to beat Mississippi State. I think they went to overtime with a pretty mediocre A&M team the other night. It doesn't appear to me that there is anybody that's a front runner in this league and is completely wide open.
No, I think the bottom is better. Now, Vandy won't look like it at the end of the year after losing the top scorer in the league after, what I guess maybe that first SEC game or maybe game 2. It was their first one. I take that back. So the bottom won't look like it with Vandy, but I think everybody else at the bottom of this league is better. I think when you start looking at the bottom of teams, Ole Miss the other night without its 2 best players didn't look like it either. But I think the bottom of the league's better. I think the middle of the league is better. I don't think the top's as good. And so I think you look at it, that's why you see when you go on the road in this league right now, it's going to be tough to win games. And I think it's just I think that's just a cross-section of college basketball as a whole right now. I watched Duke and Clemson the other night. That was not a fluke. Clemson was good and controls the game from start to finish almost. And so I think you look at it, I thought, I was thinking about it the other night going, the only two teams probably in this country that can go on the road in league play and not be worried about losing any time they go out right now are probably Gonzaga and San Diego State because of the leagues they play in. I think anybody, anywhere in any other league has to be concerned about going on the road pretty much anywhere they go.
Jason, Auburn shifts gears, looks to Florida tomorrow at 12:30. It's a series. Florida leads 87-81. It's really close, actually. And it's an 11-game winning streak for Florida in this series. So what can Auburn do to turn that around? Obviously, you got to turn the page quick in this league. Like you said, go on the road. If you win a big game, you can't let that hangover carry over to the next game. And if you lose one, you got to get ready to play again just in a few days. Just your thoughts on Auburn's matchup tomorrow with Florida.
Yeah, Auburn beat Florida twice last year. But
Excuse me, yeah.
12 straight in games that they've lost.
That's right. That's what I meant.
That's the thing you look at. And I think that the problem with this game for Auburn is the turnaround. I think you look at the turnaround for this one. Florida plays at home at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, and Auburn plays on the road at 8 o'clock on Wednesday, and then you have a 12:30 Central Time tip-off on Saturday. That's a tough turnaround when you start talking about rival game, all the things you have to go through on Wednesday night to now turn around. And so there's not much prep for this Auburn team. I don't even think they even watched the Alabama game because they had to immediately turn to Florida. So that'll be the thing for me to watch is Auburn's depth. Can you get to that, and can you make it pay off? Because you may be a little weary when you start talking about that quick turnaround. But Kerry Blackshear, Andrew Nimhard, this is a team that's playing preseason top 10 in the country. They played some really good teams already. They've shown signs that they can get things done, but there's also signs first half against Alabama, the entire game against Missouri, where they look awful. And so you just don't know which one of those teams you're going to find.
You're right, Jason, and to correct what I said earlier, not even just winning in Gainesville, it was an 11-game winning streak for Florida prior, as you said, to last year where Auburn won twice in Auburn Arena and then, of course, in the SEC tournament. Up until last year, though, Mike White was 3-0 against Auburn, so it's a tough place. Auburn, again, Bruce Pearl uses that motivation about these losing streaks on the road, talking about how we haven't been on the road in a lot of these environments and won in quite some time. So it'll be another opportunity for Auburn to get a big win. Want to shift gears before we let you go, talk about the hire on the offensive line. Got a lot of people asking about that. Just your thoughts on Jack Bicknell Jr. Being hired as the offensive line coach at Auburn.
Yeah, I think you look experience, NFL experience, all those things he has going for him. I think the thing that people maybe got lost a little bit with, and maybe they didn't, but this is not the normal hire. For Gus Malzahn, there was always a connection. It was somebody he worked with, one of those things. To me, it shows you pretty obviously that this is going to be Chad Marsh's offense. At least that's what it shows me, because I think that's his hire. And so I think when you look at it, I think it's going to have a different look to this thing moving forward. And I like his experience. I like that NFL tie. And something else I like too. I think J.B. Grimes is a really good offensive line coach, but I think in this setting, having somebody that has a fresh look, hasn't seen these guys play before, and can hit the ground in the spring and go, okay, what do I have? I think that could be a plus as well as you head into 2020 with likely 4 new starters, with only Nick Brahms coming back with experience.
Well, Jason, again, want to thank you for joining us every single Friday. We appreciate it so much. And, again, be safe out there with your travels covering Auburn in the basketball season. And we'll catch up with you next Friday.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. That's Jason Caldwell with Inside the Auburn Tigers. Does a great job, been part of our program for a long time. Up against the break, stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
At Mortgage Pro, we won't be able to finance a new car or new boat. We can't open you a checking account. Mortgage Pro specializes in mortgage loans. If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your current home, the only way to go is Mortgage Pro. We can close in 15 days or less. We can offer the best rates in the mortgage industry, and we can waive appraisal fees on any new loan from September 1st until December 31st. Call Mortgage Pro today.
Hey Realtors, do you know about LMG Ad Agency? We build your brand and help sell your properties or a unique lifestyle so you can focus on your clients. We focus on professional photos, videos, aerial photography and videography, and commercial real estate. We'd love to tell your story. Contact us today at 256-392-4250 or visit our website at lmgadagency.com.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local Cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
I am Lisa McClendon from Country Financial, and I have spent years in our community helping people protect their homes, cars, and lives. I am proud to be a member of the 2018 National Championship Team and a National Advisory Council member for Country Financial. Complete financial security does not end with just insurance. I am also here to help you plan for your financial future.
Together, we can help you set up a step-by-step plan to reach financial security.
Let's talk soon.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control for generations, and now with EnviroCare, you can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs. EnviroCare's exclusive Centricon termite colony elimination system provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. EnviroCare's Centricon system protects your home year-round. Call the professionals at EnviroCare throughout East Central Alabama for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization. Wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat. Full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz here. Halfway through our program, I want to thank Jason Caldwell again for joining us every Friday like he does. Luke, let's move on. Talk about that national championship game this week. Dadgummit, man. If they keep pushing the game back, they'll just butt it right up to spring football practice.
Well, and
it's
I know
too much of a layoff.
It is, and it's. I mean, really,
it lost some luster.
What's the harm in starting this thing at 6:30? I mean, I know it's all about TV ratings and money and whatever. But man, I'm about dead. I told you.
Well, I'm tired of 8 o'clock. I'm tired of 8 o'clock tip-offs in basketball.
Oh, I know.
I mean, that's brutal.
I'm gonna go ahead and just call a spade here and come clean. I told
you fall asleep.
Well, I fell asleep because I was in Newark, New Jersey at the airport. I had to fly.
So it was an hour even ahead.
I had to fly at 3 in the morning. Yeah, I mean, it started at 9 my time, and I left at 4 in the morning.
I noticed you weren't tweeting or sending any messages
back and forth. I wasn't doing anything. I woke up in the middle of the second half because I went to bed in the middle of the first half, woke up in the middle of the second half, and I was like, oh, good, at least the game's over. And I was like, man, I didn't even slept much. And I was like, okay, we're winning, but I said, I'm going to try and stay up. And I was just, I went right back to sleep. But so I had to watch it on a replay. But anyway, Yeah, I think
that tells you right. Let me just say this, and I know we're all jacked up about basketball and we're excited, but that tells you right there that basketball will never be in
football.
this area in football. It just won't be.
Because I stayed up for that Ole Miss game that kicked off at 8:15 and didn't end till 1:30 in Tuscaloosa at 15.
Right.
If I'll stay up for that, I'll stay up for anything.
You
football.
will in Ole Miss and Alabama at 8 o'clock tip in basketball. You might catch a few Z's.
No, I'll promise you, I would long been asleep. But going back to the LSU game, I think. Look, and it's hard for an Alabama fan to admit this. I think it's the best season anybody's ever had.
I definitely agree with that.
I also think it's the best season any quarterback's ever had. I know everybody that doesn't mean I think Joe Burrow's better than Cam Newton or Johnny Manziel or a lot of other quarterbacks have come
but the stats.
or Tua for that matter.
Yeah.
But I think he had the best season of anybody. And it's not his
did.
fault Tua got hurt or Tua could have matched him, but he didn't. And it's not his fault that Cam didn't play Texas on the road. I mean, LSU played some really stout teams. I mean, they played like 7 of the top 10 teams. I mean, it was crazy the schedule.
And how they won too.
And
outside Alabama and Auburn.
Outside Alabama and Auburn, they beat everybody's brains in.
That's it.
And even against Alabama and Auburn, frankly, they moved the ball on both of those teams really well. It was just circumstance that led them only to winning by 3 and by 5. So. Yeah, I think it's one of the best seasons, or the best season I've ever seen anybody have in college football. I thought the Clemson season before that was pretty close, but I will say that this has been really incredible season for LSU. Now, having said that, here's the other thing I'll say. I feel kind of sorry for LSU because now they kind of know what some Alabama fans have been through recently. You don't get to enjoy national championships anymore. Immediately, Brady's gone. Burrow's gone. OBJ
7 juniors.
OBJ is on the field passing out $100 bills. They're having to deal with that. Aranda's gone to Baylor. 7 juniors gone, and Thaddeus Moss is probably going to announce to go. So you turn around, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God.
My roster's gone. My coaching staff's gone.
And it's funny because at the beginning of the season, if you tell an LSU fan, okay, here's the deal. Would you, if you know that you're going to lose all those people and you're going to have Odell out there passing out money and possibly get you a little hot water for that, would you do it for national championship? You say yes. But then when you get to the moment, you're like,
well,
oh my God.
As soon as the clock hits 0, it's like a mass exodus. Here you got a bizarre, eccentric guy that's, one of your better players ever out on the field doing crazy crap. And then you got Joe Burrow saying, well, I'm not a student athlete anymore, so I'll just be honest with you. That was real money. Nobody believed it was fake anyway.
Why would he have a pocket full of fake money? That was the dumbest, who carries Monopoly money around?
But the bottom line is now you start to find out, once you've put together, as you said, the best year ever in college football, how do you react to that? You look at Larry Coker at Miami. He wins a national championship. 2 years later, he's gone. Gene Chizik wins a national championship. 2 years later, he's gone. How do you handle that, and can you keep your train on the tracks? Again, to quote, to compliment Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney, they are 2 examples of guys that have been able to do it year in and year out. You can get to the top of the mountain. Gus Malzahn gets to the top of the mountain in 13, doesn't pull the win off. Should have won the game. They blew it. But, again, you come back, and Auburn has struggled. They had another good year, a decent year in 14. They didn't live up to expectations. 17, Jarrett Stidham bails Gus Malzahn out, frankly. If he doesn't get Jarrett Stidham to come in the offseason before that season, doesn't matter if you got Kerryon Johnson or not, he's probably gone. So it takes that much time to get Auburn back to that point. Now Auburn's, again, right back here in the situation of a 3, 4, 5 loss team that you're trying to find a magic solution to figure out how to get back to the top of the heap with everybody else being as good or better than you. It's tough. So Ed Orgeron now will be judged based on how he moves this program forward from this point on.
No, I totally agree. It's going to be a huge test for him. And Jerry Seinfeld once said on his show that men don't care what's on TV, they only care what else is on TV. And I think that's how it is with LSU in this national championship, because people write as soon as it's over, you write a story about the greatest team ever, and the very next minute there's a story about, okay, who's going to win it in 2021?
Well, everybody's moved on. I saw a thing on Facebook today, and I thought this was a great example of what you just said. And it's probably viral now. I've seen a bunch of people share it, and I don't know why it just got shared today, but it did. This kid is doing a valedictorian speech, and He got up there and he talked about how, everything he'd done to that point was for that moment, and, getting his name called out was his dream, and to be the valedictorian. And he was talking about all the stuff, and he said it lasted about 15 seconds. He said, and then the 16th second hit, and then he's sitting there going, all the things I sacrificed, all the people I shunned, all the things I chose not to do to stay busy and to achieve this one goal, and now that I'm here, that was it. That's all it lasted. He said it literally lasted about 15 seconds. He said then people moved on. He said, and it still doesn't diminish the accomplishment, but we all as humans put so much into getting to one thing, and then when we get there, it's all right, oh, what's next? Or how are we going to get back here? And a lot of what Nick Saban says is true on that, is that you don't really have time to celebrate, because if you don't go back to work tomorrow, somebody's already passed you. Somebody's already done more than you. Yep. So, it's just the society we live in, and it puts things in perspective. Yes, you want to win national championships. Yes, you want to be on top of the football world, but it's a constant process. It doesn't stop. Just because you get up there doesn't mean that you have some predicated amount of time that you get to sit up on top of the mountain.
That's right. It's not like it would be one thing if they said, okay, for a month after every championship in every sport, that team gets to revel in that greatness. And then everybody can recruit and,
that's right.
And train.
Yeah, it didn't happen that way.
It doesn't happen. In fact, there are already tweets. Christian Story won Alabama, Mr. Football in Alabama. He's already tweeted like, I promise we're coming after y'all next year. And I'm like, dude, you enjoy this. I'm an Alabama fan, but enjoy that you just won this trophy. Enjoy the moment. We don't enjoy the moment anymore.
Up against another break. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, I'm Kurt Bowman, General Manager of Vaden Toyota of Sylacauga.
And I'm Coco. Do you owe more on your vehicle than it's worth? Are you stuck with high interest rates? We may be able to help.
If you've made your last 12 consecutive payments on time and would like to get a new vehicle for the same or close to the same payment and save thousands of dollars in interest, you may qualify.
So come by and see us and let us show you the Vaden way.
Vaden Toyota of Sylacauga, located on Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Be the hostess with the mostest this holiday season at Chicken Salad Chick with our easy party catering. Need a quick appetizer? Stop by Chicken Salad Chick and grab a quick chick of any chicken salad flavor or the pimento cheese ball covered with crushed pecans and crispy bacon. Remember, no meal is complete without a sweet treat. For a limited time, our pumpkin cheesecake is back and it's delicious. Chicken Salad Chick can feed any holiday crowd with our custom fit catering. 12 flavors of chicken salad, there's sure to be something for every taste bud.
Tires are important, and when getting a great price on tires, you want to get it right. So make the short drive to Wright's Tire in Sylacauga. Wright's Tire can get you any make or model of tire, and they make the drive worth it with volume pricing. Whether North Tallapoosa, South Talladega, or Coosa County, make the right choice, the right selection, the right service, and the right price. All at Wright's Tire on Fort William Street in Sylacauga. Call for a free quote, 256-245-7778, and get the right price on tires.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs. Or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Since the dawn of time, mankind has needed tools. But not all tools are created equal. AGF Machine Rental Sales and Service has tools for all commercial construction or big residential projects. AGF Machinery offers the most durable and hardworking brands of ASV, Skyjack, and Wacker Neuson. Aerial lifts, scissor lifts, loaders, excavators, and forest equipment on demand for the best possible price. And backed by the Southeast's best team of professionals. Visit any of our strategic locations across Alabama for all your equipment needs. Or online at agfmachinery.com.
Expect it or not, the loss of a loved one is difficult. Put your family first by planning ahead. This is Joseph Dean, new owner of Alabama Funeral Homes and Cremation Centers. We are a full-service funeral home with an on-site crematory and cemetery. Whether your need is immediate or you would like to plan in advance, our experienced, compassionate staff can assist you in designing an enduring memorial experience, burial, or cremation. Alabama Funeral Homes and Cremation Centers on Highway 280 in Camp Hill or online, alabamafuneralhomes.com.
Harbor Point Ship Store has everything to make your day on the lake more enjoyable. Come on out to the biggest marina on the water. They have pizza, hot dogs, burgers, and more. Get your gas, groceries, snacks, ice, and everything you need for a fun day on the lake. Are you in the market for a new or pre-owned boat? Harbor Point has the best selection around of everyone's favorite Crest pontoons and Four Winds boats. Harbor Point also has a great selection of pre-owned boats. Come on out and take a look at Harbor Point, Marina Point Road in Dadeville. Get to the point.
You already know the power and reliability of a Mahindra tractor. Get ready to meet their ATV and UTV lines. Haul more and tow more. Do more. Reaching speeds up to 60 miles an hour. Models have a 12-inch ground clearance and the ability to haul up to 1,200 pounds. There's a Mahindra utility vehicle and a model specifically to get the job done. Test drive today at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor. Serving Tallapoosa, Coosa, Clay, and Talladega counties. 256-392-3613.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. 20 more minutes in today's show. Thanks for your comments out there. Steven says, what do y'all think about LSU losing so much, the offensive and the defensive coordinator? And kind of what we talked about just a minute ago. I just, now the real job steps up. And not that Ed Orgeron hadn't been having to deal with things. He brought in Joe Brady last year. When guys are hot like that, they probably aren't going to stick around very long if they got aspirations to move on. You don't get very many Brent Venables in the business anymore that become a lifer assistant. But he's got to replace an offensive and a defensive coordinator. I know M. Sminger's still there, but we all know Joe Brady's the reason they kind of upped their game this year. You got to replace a Joe Burrow, which you're just not going to do. You don't replace players like that. You got 7 juniors that are going to be out, big-time impact players. And like you said, Moss probably going to declare soon. So
Edwards-Helaire is gone.
I mean, you just have, and I know LSU's got a lot of talent, and they got a good recruiting class coming in. But all those guys were seasoned. They're familiar. They've been in a system.
Chemistry.
It's going to be tough. I mean, you just don't just snap your fingers and return back to the top of the heap.
We're circling back to it's the Auburn Blitz, so tying it in, you wonder if this was Ed Orgeron's Gene Chizik moment. Because, I mean, you could arguably say that the 2010 team for Auburn was the best season in Auburn history, and they had a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback who went number 1 in the draft. Undefeated, and now won big in the SEC title game, won on the road at Alabama, and now, LSU's got kind of the same thing. I mean, they're going to lose so many guys. You wonder what the effect's going to be next year, and we'll find out the gate. And here's another thing that's interesting. I could say that maybe Texas is next year's LSU to a degree. I don't think Texas can have that kind of season. But, they do bring back Sam Ehlinger, who's coming back for his senior season.
I'll believe it when they put it
I agree. I'm just saying they have the opportunity to do this now, to do what LSU did because they start off on the road.
And they should do it easier because they're in a weaker conference.
Well, they do. But the irony is they travel back to LSU when this time they have the senior quarterback.
That's right.
And this time they'll be considered right on par with them.
You'll find out, even though LSU isn't the team this coming year as they were this year, you'll find out if Texas belongs because Death Valley is a hard place to go play, period. It doesn't matter what type of team you take down there, and we'll see if Sam Ehlinger can take that team into Death Valley and win. Now, I know that it was a shootout at Texas, and LSU outlasted them, but we'll see if they're able to finally put that together. Looking at what coaches do in the offseason is important. Looking at their deficiencies, what they needed to work on to get maybe over the hump for the next year. Kirby Smart has reportedly hired former NFL offensive coordinator for the Browns and the Buccaneers, Todd Monken, to modernize the passing game. ESPN reported he'll be the OC for Georgia. Look, Gus Malzahn needs to work on the passing game. He goes out and gets Chad Morris and get a new offensive line coach. Kirby Smart knows that their passing game was their Achilles heel. He's trying to figure out something. Last year, Ed Orgeron said, if we don't get better in the passing game, we ain't never going to beat Alabama. We're never going to win an SEC championship. He goes out and gets Joe Brady and gets Joe Burrow over the hump. Hey, man, your money's made in off-season acquisitions, and a lot of coaches right now making a lot of big changes in their offensive and defensive staffs.
That's why I don't like the Mike Leach hire all that much. I like it in terms of, it's going to be fun to hear him at media days. It's going to be fun to hear him talk about pirates and asteroids and, the Magna
That'll
Carta,
all only last
whatever.
for a little bit.
But here's the thing. Mike Leach is going to sling it all over the field, and he's going to score. His teams are going to score. But his defense are going to give up a lot of points. And so 10 years ago, this would have been a heck of a hire. But now, how's a Mike Leach defense going to stop Jalen Waddle? Good luck. I mean, good luck with that. Good luck with stopping Jamar Chase. I mean, they hadn't seen guys like this at Mike Leach defense. They hadn't seen players like this on a consistent basis.
He hasn't played in a division ever as tough as what he's about to face.
And he walked into an absolute bear trap, and I get it. I mean, he looked for a challenge. Boy, he found one. I mean, you don't get more challenging than what he's got going up against.
You look at the West and the coaches, obviously LSU, Alabama, Auburn at the top of the heap, and then you move on down and, you've got Texas A&M knocking on the door with Jimbo and the talent and the facilities they have. Then you've got the Mississippi schools with Mississippi State and Ole Miss, and then Arkansas. Man, this is this division of this league is totally brutal, and you're right, it'll be a daunting task. Obviously, Jonathan Buskey, the offensive tackle, longtime Auburn commit, JUCO commit, not going to be signing with Auburn because of the academic hurdles he could not clear. That was rumored even back before the first signing day, and it's official now. He'll not be joining the team. That makes this particular recruit even more important for Auburn. Broderick Jones, who said it's Auburn and Georgia now 50-50, which may have changed the way he looks at it for Georgia now with all the guys that they've got leaving, the guys that they've got in trouble over there. But as Jason said a couple weeks ago, Georgia signed 4 true offensive tackles in this class, so that may have an impact on him. He will be taking an official visit, just a complimentary visit like Luke and I talked about off the air, to see Sam Pittman at Arkansas before the National Signing Day on February 5th. I really do think it's down to Auburn, Georgia. Auburn desperately needs another offensive lineman in this class, and if they get him, it's not just an offensive lineman. He's a 5-star. He's the best lineman in the state of Georgia, so it would be another big get for Auburn going into the state, able to get him to commit to this class.
Yeah, he's one of the biggest names left on the board. There's no doubt about it. He and Zach Evans, the running back, who Lord knows where in the world he ends up at this point. So I thought he was A&M, but now I just don't know. He's been in so much trouble. But, Broderick Jones is a big name out there that everybody's waiting to hear from.
Where, and just because he's not in front of me, the kid that from Mississippi, the defensive lineman, where do you think he ends
McKinley
up?
Jackson?
McKinley Jackson.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's everybody's
Everybody
guess.
said LSU's kind of got a beat on him.
LSU, I think A&M certainly in the mix. Alabama and Auburn are in there. Georgia is
He's just all over the map.
Who really knows? I doubt it's one of the Mississippi schools. I think it will be one of the 4 I mentioned before. And then, of course, there's Jay Hardy out there who hadn't signed with Auburn. Keith Niebuhr came out and said, Alabama's kind of pushing for him now. I think it sounds like he may be a backup for Alabama if McKinley Jackson weren't to choose Alabama, but I don't know that because Alabama's got sort of a numbers crunch right now, and they've got to figure out – I don't even know that they can sign everybody left that they've got committed. So it's going to be interesting. And then Alabama's still out there making other offers, so I just don't know how Nick Saban's going to pull it off.
It always seems to come down to the wire. Up against our final break, stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app.
With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local Cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control for generations, and now with EnviroCare, you can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs. EnviroCare's exclusive Centricon termite colony elimination system provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. EnviroCare's Centricon system protects your home year-round. Call the professionals at EnviroCare throughout East Central Alabama for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
WOTM, your new home for high school sports in Alabama. WOTM has you covered with live coverage of all 7 championship games of the Super 7. WOTM is available to all TV providers in Alabama. If WOTM is not currently a part of your channel lineup, call your provider and request that they add WOTM. WOTM, your exclusive TV home for the AHSAA Super 7 basketball, baseball, and softball championships. All live only on WOTM.
Hey Realtors, do you know about LMG Ad Agency? We build your brand and help sell your properties or a unique lifestyle so you can focus on your clients. We focus on professional photos, videos, aerial photography and videography, and commercial real estate. We'd love to tell your story. Contact us today at 256-392-4250 or visit our website at lmgadagency.com.
Mortgage Pro is the new standard for mortgage loans. While other banks are taking 45 to 60 days to close a loan, Mortgage Pro is making it happen in less than 15 days. Your mortgage loan goes from start to finish in less than 15 days. Mortgage Pro is able to make this happen by having the most advanced technology and a highly trained staff with over 98 years combined experience. If you're looking to buy a home or refinance your current mortgage, call Mortgage Pro and let our team go to work for you.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz final segment of the program. Kind of close out. Randy Joe said, have you heard anything on the long snapper that committed today? Yeah, we talked about it during the break a little bit. Just not a lot of information on him. Long snappers don't get a lot of pub. It's not usually a big to-do, but, I mean, they're important. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're a major part. If you got a bad one, that's when you really
recognize
recognize
it. If you, Gene, as long as you say about playing Vanderbilt, if you don't think this game's important, just lose it. If you don't think having a long snapper is important, just have a bad one.
That's exactly right. So, we'll talk more about that a little bit later on. Just want to finish the show. Obviously, a lot going on. The NFL playoffs coming up this weekend, down to the Final Four. Just cut straight to the chase, Luke. I mean, the Titans have gotten there the old-fashioned way. They've made teams succumb to the way they want to play, and they give the ball to Derrick Henry, and they kind of wear them down in the second half. Going to be tough in Kansas City to win with that style of play.
Now, the Titans did beat them earlier this year.
They did.
Now, that was in Tennessee.
He's going to have to throw for more than 80 yards.
Derrick Henry has more yards rushing in one game than Ryan Tannehill has passing in 2 games.
Exactly.
But it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and I think the contrasting styles make it fun. Look, I think for the NFL purposes, it's better if Mahomes gets there.
That's right.
For my purposes, as an Alabama homer, I'm certainly pulling for Derrick Henry, though Reggie Ragland is on the Chiefs too. I still think it'd be awesome if Derrick Henry could somehow find a way to propel his team to a Super Bowl. But in the end, I think it's going to be the best matchup we can all see is going to be the Green Bay Packers and the Chiefs.
Well, that's the rematch of the first Super Bowl.
First 2 Super Bowls.
Yep.
So I think that's pretty cool. I
don't think Green Bay's going to beat San Francisco out.
And San Francisco did beat their brains in earlier this year, but I think they have a puncher's chance. I think they have a puncher's chance. I mean, with Aaron Rodgers, and they're playing.
He just does not play good in San Francisco. Look at his record.
He has not. But I don't want to see San Francisco there.
I've never.
But
that just tells you how. And I know the New England Patriots were kind of. You're not going to bench Tom Brady. You're not going to tell him to take a hike. But Jimmy, they had it right. They had the next best quarterback sitting there behind them, but they had to let him go because Tom Brady wasn't ready to retire. So, but Jimmy Garoppolo, he's one win away from being in the Super Bowl, and that would be a fun game to see San Francisco and Kansas City because it's two powerful offenses. It'd be back and forth. But Aaron Rodgers, he knows he's getting on up there. It's coming probably. How many more opportunities is he going to get with this thing? He kind of sold out the other day and said, look, it ain't about me. I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get this team to the Super Bowls and we can win a Super Bowl.
Well, here's the thing. I think everybody'd be fine with San Francisco and Kansas City, 1 seed versus 1 seed. Everybody would love Green Bay, Kansas City because so much history and 2 fantastic quarterbacks. Everybody'd be cool with the Titans taking on Green Bay because you have Derrick Henry who's on a run like nothing else, and, of course, you still got Aaron Rodgers. Nobody on earth wants the Titans and 49ers. That's the worst matchup you can have. And so, therefore, that's what we'll get.
That's probably, you're probably spot on. All right, Andy likes to do on this day, and I like it too because, important history events. We all like history. It's pretty cool. On this day in 1916, Rodman Wanamaker, you know who that is, organizes a lunch to discuss forming a golfers association at the Taplow Club in New York City. And then the PGA was born, professional golf. So on this day in 1916.
Wow. It seems like it'd be older than that.
You would think it'd be older than that. 1971 on this day, Super Bowl V, the Baltimore Colts defeat the Dallas Cowboys 16-13. The MVP of the game, Dallas linebacker Chuck Howley. Only time Super Bowl MVP has ever gone to a player of the losing team. How about that?
It should have gone to Terrell Owens probably.
Yeah, with Philadelphia.
Yeah,
you're right.
You play on a broken leg and do really well, you ought to get something.
I agree. 1988, Denver Broncos defeat the Browns 38-33 in Mile High. Remember that game. Browns running back Ernest Biner fumbles at the 3-yard line.
Never forget it.
With 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining. And that's a little bit of history here on this day throughout. Happy birthday to Betty White, born in 1922.
God.
Still alive.
And killing it. Still funny.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. James Earl Jones, Darth Vader.
He's dead, right?
1931. No, he's not dead.
God, I thought he was dead.
No, he's not. According to this, he's not.
Somebody better let him know he's alive because it feels like he's dead.
Don Zimmer. Now, he is dead. He passed away in 2014, but he was born on this day, 1931. Muhammad Ali was born on this day in 1942. That's pretty
That's a big
influential guy in society. Passed away in 2016. Andy Kaufman. You a big Andy Kaufman fan? I never was either.
I just thought he was a little bit overrated.
R.E.M.?
Yeah,
Andy Kaufman.
I wasn't a big fan.
Yeah. Steve Earle, 1955, born on this day. Steve Harvey was born on this day, 1957. Yeah, he was too.
All right, so I take my 3 kids back to Ohio all the time. One of their favorite things for me to do is be Steve Harvey, and I make up a Family Feud game while we're in the car just having car games. And I'll say, hey, everybody, welcome back to the Feud. Good to see you. Hey, baby, what you doing? I love to do that. I do the whole thing, and I make up surveys in my head and just like, okay, name your favorite color, whatever.
Yeah.
And if one of them says red, I'll go, it's not up there. They're like, how's red not up there? Like, we took a survey. What do you want me to
do? When you're in control of the survey, you can do whatever you want.
I'm the buzzer.
I didn't know you had fuchsia and turquoise and all that up there, did you? All right, on this day born Jim Carrey, 1962. He's funny, but man.
Boy, he was funny. This political thing he's
ruined himself.
He really has. I mean, he's really just gotten to the point where, and I don't care which side of the aisle you're on, it's really just kind of pitiful to watch him go down this rabbit hole.
King of I Don't Give a You-Know-What, Kid Rock, born on this day in 1971, and Dwayne Wade, born on this day in 1982. So,
God, Dwayne Wade, born in 82.
He only had one rest in peace on here. Bobby Fischer in 2008, world champion chess player. Don't know why Andy wanted to give a shout out to Bobby Fischer, but There it is. So world champion. Do you play chess?
I've tried to. I can't get it, man. And like the thing about playing chess, you got to play with people better than you all the time. And everybody's better than me, and I don't have time to play. So I mean, I hadn't really gotten checkers down pat. So I don't know what to go to chess yet.
Yeah, chess is it's tough, man. No, but again, we're up against the end of the program. It's been a fun week, a lot to cover. I want to thank all of our guests, especially Jason Caldwell, for being part of the program today. I want to thank all of you out there for watching and listening, like you guys do every single day you make the show. Luke, thanks for subbing in. I know it's kind of the half Auburn Blitz today. We got the little bit of Bama spin.
Yeah, do what you
got to
do.
throw it in there every once in a while. Auburn, Florida on deck tomorrow in basketball, 12:30 tip. Our very own Andy Graham and our friend Justin Clayton will be down there in attendance at the O'Connell Center to see if Auburn can rebound after that loss to Alabama at the Coleman Coliseum on Wednesday. But that's going to wrap it up for the Auburn Blitz. We've enjoyed it. We hope you have. Have a great weekend, everybody.